Hey guys, I'm here today to react to AGUST D's new music video called Daechwita, which I just looked up because I hadn't heard that word before. And it says it's a genre of Korean traditional music consisting of military music played by wind and percussion instruments, generally performed while marching. So it's gonna be more of like a traditional vibe, I guess, which like I get that vibe already just seeing like the beginning of this music video and like the thumbnail. I mean like the first frame, I didn't watch anything yet. AGUST D. I have to get into this before I start. Some of you may know that I originally got into K-pop through BTS. Classic. But that was 2016, and I can to this day say that Suga is my longest standing favorite K-pop artist. Like, ever since then, just his music and like his last solo album, and not just that, but like his music in BTS and just everything he creates always really just hits me in like a different kind of way, because he takes his music places where I think a lot of people would be afraid to take it. But he goes for it, and that has always really resonated with me. Like, his lyrics especially like say things that I just don't really hear much in music, particularly in this genre, and so he has inspired me more than I can say, and like I just have so much respect for him, like creatively, and every time I use the word respect now I think of like his song with RM about respect, and I'm like, what am I saying? But seriously, like in the traditional sense, I respect his music a lot. Just like his whole vibe and energy is just exactly the kind of person that I'm extremely drawn to. And so, yeah, for the longest time now, he's just been my favorite. Yeah, his stuff really hits me differently, and just his whole energy and everything. So when I woke up to this album this morning, I was just, well, if you consider 2 p.m. morning, then that's what I woke up to. I need to fix my sleep schedule. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the music video. Oh my god, it's so good after all this time to see him come back with a solo album. Anyway, let's go. Oh my god. King energies. Like, who else would do something like this? I'm assuming that says Daechwita in the characters from like back then.
Yeah.
That went in. Honestly, that is how he lives. There's literally a head hanging. Oh my god. It sounds so. Oh. This is his style right here. And he's all tied up. So he has like a peasant persona and a king persona, maybe. Before an execute. Oh, and like the guy's dancing with the. Oh my god. The artsiness, I just. Oh. Ooh. And he's like laughing. Looks like his head is still on. Oh my god. That ending, Tell me who the hell else would do something like this? Who, besides him? I feel like I need a minute. Like, I'm in like a weird state of shock trying to process it all. Damn! And what I thought was really interesting about this, like, yeah, he really went there with all the executions and like hanging heads and everything, and like just himself, like his energy in this, like, he has the most unreal, like, powerful vibe to, like, you know, like, even before this, like, I was saying how he as a person just has this energy that, like, I'm super drawn to. Like, even acting in a music video, like, it's him, it feels like him, you know, like, I don't know how to describe it, just, his vibe is just out of this world. I also want to point out that, like, he has this older setting, right? And within that, he has a car, he brings in guns, right? It's just very fascinating. Like, it seemed like he was taking it to this kind of age and then incorporating very modern day elements into it. And it really feels like a statement. Except what exactly? I need to think about this more for sure. Like, one run through isn't gonna really do it for me, you know? Like, I need to watch this again to really try and, like, get the most meaning out of it. But, okay, little retrospect here now that I'm editing. I think maybe the statement was that the kind of, like, lower class version of himself has tools that maybe, like, the higher version doesn't know. Like, his peasant self has things that the king couldn't imagine, even though, like, the king is so, like, wealthy and seems to have it all and, like, the power. Like, he's there with a car and a gun, you know, like, it's just fascinating. Again, he went in with, like, the exact kind of lyrics that I tell you, like, almost no one goes for. Like, he's sure of himself, and that's one of the things I respect so much. Like, he knows, and, like, the way he just, like, roasts everyone who would, like, hate on him, I live for it. You know, it's really interesting that, like, another thing, I just feel the need to talk about this right now because it came up. It's so strange, but, like, I'm not one who tends to really like people who, like, trash on others and people who think they're the greatest and whatever, you know? But somehow, like, with him it feels different, because, like, it doesn't seem like he's trash-talking everyone. It seems like he's trash-talking on haters specifically, and, like, people who stand against him. So it doesn't like, yeah, it comes off like kind of grandiose, like he thinks like he's the best, but it's in a way that makes him respectable rather than like full of it, because we know that like he did this himself, you know, like he built this empire for himself, quite literally. Like he really is that kind of rags to riches type of story, and like he knows how much he's accomplished, and like that's what makes it so respectable for him to do something like this, because even though like he definitely is like he has that like proudness of like, yeah, I know I'm great, which again could be a show, I don't know, like I don't know who he really is as a person. All I know is what he puts out there for cameras and in his music and stuff, but I don't know, it's always seemed genuine to me. Just, yeah, no, that's what I really admire about him. Like he knows his own worth, he knows what he's accomplished, and that's inspiring. That kind of mindset is really inspiring. Like the don't care what people say, like I know my worth, I know how far I've come, like I know what I've accomplished and who I am, and no one can stand in my way of that. I feel like that's a message he's always kind of projected. Like some of my favorite work of his is stuff like The Last, you know, like it's raw. He's very raw, and he shares these things and like his mindset. And I mean, everyone has certain things that I think they're more okay with the world knowing and less okay with. Like there might be parts of him that he could never share to the public because like that's the insecurity part, right? And then there are some things that he is okay, and like this seems like something that like he's okay with sharing. Like it might be difficult, but at the end of the day, like something he can do. And I feel like we're all like that in a sense, where there are certain things that like we are willing to talk about and aren't. And like it all depends. Like in certain ways I'm a totally open book. Like, you know, I'm generally quite open, but there's specific things that like it's hard for me to tell anyone about because like it's a deeper insecurity, right? So like it's just interesting to me like what people choose to actually discuss and what they're like capable of discussing or like willing to discuss. And he, I feel like, puts out some really raw things in like certain aspects when it comes to like his growth as a person and like him within like the kind of social sphere and hard work and just who he is. I don't know, I feel like he really takes it there, and like things like mental illness and overcoming it all. Like, yeah, I don't know, I just, like I said, endless respect for him, and everything he puts out really hits me different. Like this was so powerful, like really, really powerful, and like the cinematography and like the music, like it's, and there were definitely moments where like I really felt his, like, what do you call it, like his production style almost in the music. Like there were parts where I'm like, oh, like this sounds so him, like I could totally see like him writing this, like it just made perfect sense. It was really his style. Like I feel like he really kept with his intense style, but like he took it to a whole nother level with like this whole kind of like really intense kind of raw and brutal storyline, but it just speaks volumes for itself, you know? So I'm watching this again as I edit right now, and it almost seems now like the story is how he became king. Maybe like he went from peasant to king, just like how he was talking about his real life, except he said it like in a different era essentially. And you know, it's so interesting because like when he's the king, he's like doing all that stuff like hanging people, executing them, or not hanging people, like executing them and hanging their heads off the thing. And yet that's the exact thing that he escaped at the end and then like shot. Like, oh my god, there is so much more to this. And like I said this, but I just like within one go of watching it, there's no way I can pick up on everything. Like I just want to keep watching and watching to like pick up on more, but I really just wanted to add this into the video as I'm realizing things, because like I know there's going to be more that I realize and want to add in later, but it'll be too late. But yeah, no, oh my god, this is really some next level stuff. I'm so confused. Like he shoots himself at the end, so like I'm thinking maybe it's a statement saying how like he doesn't need to be a king, like to be who he is, maybe, you know, because like it's kind of like the king is his persona to the public, like that powerful kind of person on top, but like in reality, like the kind of smaller peasant version of himself is still just as much him, you know, and like maybe he doesn't like the fact that he's grown into this kind of tyrant type of thing, you know, or that's maybe how he feels. Cause, you know, he was saying like all this, like the money, like the fame and power and like the greed and everything, like that's a recurring theme in his music, and it's almost like he's defying that and saying like just me being who I am is enough, and like it doesn't take all that, and like almost he's angry with himself for being that way. But at the same time, he really kind of shows it off, and like even when he's in his like peasant form, he still talks about all that, how like, you know, like I'm higher than you think I am, that type of thing. So I don't know, like there's just so many messages in this, and I wish I'd filmed this nicely on the camera earlier, but like it's hitting me now like watching it again, so we're doing it on this shitty phone, so it's okay. Yeah, anyway, alright. Back to the video. Just like I said, who else would pull something like this? Like I don't know. I haven't seen anything like remotely like this aside from him, and that's just what really hooks me. And I just think he's an absolutely incredible, unreal person and such a role model to so many people, and me included for sure. Like he's really inspired me to like work towards something. That's one thing I've always really thanked BTS for, specifically because before getting into them, I can't say I had any particular distinct life goals. And like, yeah, I'm still very confused about those things, and like I don't know exactly what I want or what I'm going for, but for a long time they did give me this desire to make something of myself, you know, and I never really had much of that before, and in a way it's been like a bit destructive too, but it's also been helpful in terms of like things like motivation and actually working towards something. So yeah, I mean, I know I went off on some tangents here, but I just, aside from just talking about the song and music video, I really wanted to talk about just him as a person, his impact, and just some of the things I felt over the years and wanted to share with you guys, and I feel like this gives me the opportunity to do that. And yeah, I kind of want to react to maybe some of the songs on this album, maybe all of them, I don't know. Because I feel like every song on this album is just gonna really hit me like a brick, and yeah, I'd like to watch them with you and talk about them all. So yeah, stay tuned if that's something you're interested in, and yeah, alright, I'm gonna go for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like, you can follow me on Instagram at Alice on the Internet, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!